Yo, it's your boy Tello. We have a situation today to talk about. Which one of you did it? Which one of you did it? What is this shit? Who stole my Poland Springs? Who replaced the 24-pack with this Dasani shit? What is this? I don't even know Dasani. Is she hot? Does she have a number? Does she want to go out on a date? I don't even know her. Pissing me off. I'll spit on him. Which one of it? Was it a rogue who did this? Was it a warrior? Was somebody jealous of me? A druid? Which one of you melee sons of bitches did it? No way the mage quarters did this. No way the mage quarters did this. They would never conjure me wrong. Somebody gave me this processed, dirty bullshit. Let's taste it first before we judge. Even though we've been tasting it halfway through. But to give you guys your expert opinion. This is straight from Midtown in New York. Underneath a local side street in Hobo Lane. Next to a dumpster. Which, no offense to the hobos. Much love to you guys. Or if you're in chat. Much love to the hobos. We're all hobos here. However, yeah. This is dog water for sure. Straight dog water 101 edition. Not liking it, but this we got to take care of it. As a matter of fact, hold up, editor, lock it in. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, we got a little too crazy there. I apologize. I was hitting it with the bionic elbow, you know, Dusty Road style. Maybe a little macho man jumping down from the top rope. But yeah, you know, in today's video, we are talking Paladins. We are talking Phase 3 Paladins, and my chair is currently on my pajama whammies. What's going on here? However, yes, the cami shirt represent, you know, I love Street Fighter. However, yeah, we're talking about Paladins overall, and I'm talking about what is the best specs to possibly go into, get involved with, coming this phase. I think right now, there's a lot of options. However, there is a lot of confusion, and I'm not too sure how we're going to go about it this phase. I'm a little concerned, actually, for the faith of the Paladin class overall, because I like what they're giving us. And let's say this is not everything they showed, right? You know, from the data mine leaks to the, you know, the videos to what they've been talking about and discussing. Let's say there's more out there to explore, right? And there's other stuff we are unaware of. Maybe there's some stuff for Paladins that are really juicy, and I'm looking forward to it. However, from what we've seen already, I do like it, but I do think there is a sense of conflict here, which I'm a little worried about, especially with how Seal of Martyrdom interacts with majority of the Paladin playstyle right now, since it's all based on really high attack speed, which I don't mind, but it causes worry of what is going to be really the best weapon to use, and if we're going to replace what we're using already, aka the Crowd Pummeler. Should I move a little bit over there to the right? Okay, good job, editor. The Crowd Pummeler. Yeah, you better lock it in. I'll spit on you right now if you ever make me do that again. Yeah. So, as far as the video goes, I hope the music's not too loud. I don't think it is too loud, but lower just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. However, yeah, so as far as like the builds, right here, what you guys are seeing is the new, you know, down here, we have the new head slot rune, obviously, which they were talking about, you know, the fanaticism. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I apologize. I'm not good with pronouncing words sometimes. We'll just call it Fana. Nice to meet you. However, for the Fana ability, increase your crit strike chance by holy spells by 18%. Now, that sounds nice on paper, but that sounds really nice for Holy Paladins as well. So, I don't know how I feel about this. I like it, and I think it's the main thing to use, but I also like what Raph introduces, even though that, you know, it's not something that we normally want to be using as just concentration, but since it also benefits from damage from your Exorcism, Holy Shock, and Holy Wrath, and Consecration spells gain additional critical strike chance equal to your melee critical strike chance. For Exorcism itself, since right now, mainly the playstyle of the Paladin is Art of War, Exorcism, Sheaf of Light. I mean, let's just be real, you know? But for Exorcism itself, I can see that being really good, just using that rune for that specific thing. However, and because you got to think about it, its concentration damage can now be critical strikes, and damage from your Exorcism gains additional critical strike chance equal to your melee critical strike chance. That's a lot of critical strike words to say. I'm stuttering. However, yeah, it seems really good on paper. So it's going to be a play around between what you want to use, either Fana or Raft, depending on how you're going about it. As you see right here, and let me zoom in a little bit. We'll zoom in just a tiny bit, right? Actually, no, zoom out a little bit. It's getting a little crazy. As you see right here, we're going down the ret tree. Say right here is about good. I'll move the camera down just a little bit for you guys. Man, how about that? All right, I'm taking care of you. Don't ever say Papa Tello never did something for you. All right, settle down. I'll kiss you. However, we're going down the red tree. We're getting vengeance. Of course, we need vengeance. It's prio. We have to have it. But as you see, we're messing around with those other 10 points. There's really no point to really go down in the Prot tree unless hit is such a massive thing you really need. But I really think you're going to get so much bang for your buck out of improved Seal of Righteousness, especially if you're going to be using a fast two-hand weapon like the Crowd Pummeler, which I really think is going to carry a long way because of its on-use effect. But also, there is that epic in Zulfur Rock, which is, you know, a really good, I think, 2.60 base weapon. And I think, you know, as long as you're using Seal of Martyrdom overall, I mean, you can get the benefits of consecration if you want to, just for, especially in like an open world when you're doing like quests, or if you're doing dungeons, it does help out, you know, adding that extra holy damage. But I do think it's really nice to have the 5 in here and then 5 in strength. And this would be your Seal of Martyrdom build. We'll just say this is your Seal of Mart build. And you could change them around, of course. Like, if you guys don't like it, like, you know, you can go into Deflection, get away from the Crusader Crusader, however you want to play it. Maybe don't do Pursuit of Justice, whatever. But we're just going PvE mainly this video. Maybe in another video, we'll talk more about PvP stuff. So this is mainly a PvE Andy video. So for my PvE Paladins, come here, enjoy yourself, get some popcorn, and you know, let's have a good talk. So, Seal of Martyrdom build, right? We're done with that. Next, we go into the Seal of Command variant. Now, there are ways of going about this too. I mean, once again, you can go into Deflection if you wanted to do stuff like that and get rid of, you know, Seal of Crusader as far as over here. But I really think Seal of the Crusader is playing a big terms of increase, you know, burst damage, especially when it comes to our judgments and how our exorcism are playing. And also since, you know, Crusader Strike is now based off of holy damage, it is really nice too. Just Seal of the Crusader has a playstyle in the Paladin tree right now, and I think it's really dope. But I mean, some people might not like Seal of the Crusader, but I think it's nice to have that 15%, you know, damage buff overall, right? Based off of, you know, your holy damage, your judgments, your exorcisms, etc. But Seal of the Command, now with this type of build, you're going to be going with in more particular, you know, the slow weapons, right? You're going to be going for those epic weapons in, you know, PvP, the ones we talked about the other day in our videos, like, you know, the Parasomnia, the Tail of Arachnus, stuff like that. And you're going to maybe even going for the mace, like the Whisperer or something like that. However, there's a lot of good weapons you could go for, but your other 10 points are going to be going into Divine Strength and Divine Intellect. Having that plus 10% in both stats is just really nice. It's a nice little touch, giving you a little bit more kick and damage, and obviously a little bit more kick in your intellect. This way you can get off a couple more, you know, good swings, as in terms of good damage, right? With the extra lack of 10% that you wouldn't have. I know it doesn't go a long way, but it does help out. You know, it makes a little difference for sure in the numbers. But the 10% in is nice to equivalent more judgments overall when you're going to be, you know, spamming your judgments, since you have, you know, 15% in benediction. I'm sorry, yes, 15% benediction is what I meant to say. But that's really going to be basically it. We're not going to use Seal of Righteousness here, because the thing is that since Seal of Righteousness now benefits with Seal of Martyrdom, this is a Seal of Command base build. We're not going to be using Seal of Martyrdom. So this is your Seal of Command build. And actually, real quick before we continue, in the previous build, if you're asking like what runes you're going with, yes, we're going to be using Fana here, and then also Hammer of Righteousness. I think honestly, I'm going to mention this now, and this is going to be the concept for every single other build that you will see. Hammer of Righteousness has a lot of potential. Now, I'm not too sure how this is going to play out, whether this is a move that hammers the current target up to 2 additional nearby targets, causing 4 times your main hand damage per second as holy damage. Now, whether this is based off of only one-handing or two-handing, depending on how it is, I think Hammer of Righteousness is going to be more beneficial overall, going based off of a two-hand especially. However, Purifying Power, I like the way it sounds on paper, but having Exorcism and Holy Wrath reduced by 50% on the cooldown, I'm not too sure how I feel about that when we're already getting Exorcism back so fast already when it procs with the, the Art of War build, especially with the, the Art of War Sheaf of Light build. So I don't know how I feel about Purifying Power. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it is good, and there's a world where obviously it's better than, Hammer of Righteousness. But I do think playing around with both in the Seal of Martyrdom and Command build is something worth trying. And this would basically be the same build, besides you just switching with Divine Storm here instead of, Seal of Martyrdom here, right? We wouldn't be using this for a slow two-hand build. So just putting that in a nutshell to make a clarification for the first part of this video and going on to the second part of this video, now into the third part. Now, for Shockadin, all right, for going deep into the Shockadin stuff, I think, obviously Blizzard has a big thing up their sleeve when it comes to making the meme specs really, viable in Season of Discovery and wanting to, put them into play and give these people opportunity to, explore the meme specs overall, right? And see how far they can take this, especially with the, the increase of spell power on, Shockadin type classes. So on this type of class, we're going to be going with Wrath, of course, because we're going deep Shockadin, especially if Shockadin tanks is going to be, a really better class, especially when they're more involved with the meta. I could see this being really good with, the increased critical strike damage overall, with, Consecration, with Wrath, resetting your exorcisms. You have the advantages of the Holy Shocks, and then you have the advantages of, Holy Wrath as well. So this is really good stuff. And also the fact that they are tweaking, if we looked at the other day in my video, how they were tweaking the holy power variables and the parameters on the back end of talents, which I like that a lot. I think that's juicy stuff right there. The fact that they're actually changing certain things within talent trees themselves to make classes either more better or for worse if they have to nerf them. However, I do think this is something that they should continue doing, because fixing up the talent trees themselves and tweaking certain things to make classes not feel either as busted or feel like they're a little bit more improved is something that is healthy for the state of WoW overall. So I like stuff like that. But yes, this is like the class you would be running. You would be running Hammer of Righteousness, Wrath, Seal of Martyrdom, of course, Reckoning, just a massive great ability overall for mana management as well. And then your classic Art of War, Exorcism, Sheaf of Light. So you are doing Art of War overall to run this build, because, why not? I mean, you're going to be getting so much spamming power, especially when you're stocking stuff like Divine Favor as well, from your Holy Shocks to your Exorcisms to Holy Wrath to Consecration. It's going to be fucking nuts. It's going to be nuts. And then on top of Hammer of Righteousness, it's going to be nuts. I'm telling you, there's the sky is the limit for Shockadins, and I think Shockadins are coming into play, and they want more people that are doing Paladin stuff going into Shockadins. Now, as the Ret side, I feel a little sad about that. However, I am happy, and I am willing to try more Shockadin stuff and give it a chance, right? So, we'll go from there. Now, for a spec that I'm really excited about, because I feel like a lot of Paladins, they're more really into, especially in this phase, they're very into deep ret tanking, they're very into deep holy tanking, but hybrid tanking I thought was really, just safe and friendly. It's very, it's chill. You can get a raid done and hybrid tank and maintain a lot of threat, no problem. If you're going holy prot ret, and splitting your points accordingly for, basically holy prot tanking, right, is what I'm getting at. But deep prot tanking, deep fucking prot tanking, I think might be good. I actually think it might be good this time around. Now, there is a world where it's obviously, not gonna beat Shockadin tanking, because based on the crit, the crit rune, instead of improved sanctuary, you going with Wrath sounds like it's gonna do more damage overall. But there is a world where improved sanctuary is just really good for single target. Having the damage prevented by Blessing of Sanctuary by 100% and increasing the damage done of your Blessing of Sanctuary by 30% based on your shield block value, this can be really good. And Deep Prot has its routes. It's extremely safe. It's an extremely safe build. And plus the fact that you can go more points into, you know, the Prot tree, and then we're going 5 into Divine Strength, and also getting 5 into Improved Seal of Righteousness, which, like we said, benefits off of Martyrdom. You have a build now that is strong, it's viable, it might scale better with, since you have the 5 into, you know, the 15% with, you know, Seal of Righteousness and Martyrdom. This is juice right here. This is potential juice that might be good. It could be expired, and if we don't like it, we test it out the first week or so, throw it out, go back to Shockadin. But there is potential there, and I really hope that it winds up being a good thing. So for my deep prots that like doing deep prot tanking, and that's your thing, let me know your comments below what you think about this. I see a lot of potential here. I see a lot of potential. Maybe for some people they don't see it, but I do see it. And there's a world where it could be good, you know, good. And I'm stuttering over here. I'm about to, your editor, I want that cut out, trimmed out, and send it to Agrin. Let him know. Much love to that guy. However, I'll spit on you too. Lock it in. However, build, this is meant for the Holy Paladins. I actually had you covered because I was doing this earlier today, and I was just thinking to myself, holy shit, wait a second. This is actually for the Holy Paladins because I don't want to leave you guys out there in the fucking dust. I think this is pretty solid. I think going deep holy and going a couple points into rep to have the, you know, the 15% you know, mana reduction cost to your judgment and seal spells is something nice to have. I think overall my biggest problem with the Holy Paladin, besides having, you know, the Fana ability, which I think is going to be your best ability for your critical strike chance with holy spells, and your purifying power, I think this comes more into play with, you know, healing paladins overall, because you're going to need to have some type of damaging ability, and honestly the wrist slots overall are not looking too great for you. I think the wrist slot, your best bet is having either the Holy Wrath or having you know, exorcism. This way you could spam something and still, you know, have something to, you know, use overall. And this way it's a damaging ability. Of course, if the heals are doing really good, you could still throw off a damaging exorcism, right? But Beacon of Light, Sacred Shield, this is the part that pisses me off, and I don't like it. I think this whole chest slot room is fucking dog shit. And I said this in my videos before. I really hope there is something out there for the Holy Paladins that you guys can get something better. If Horn of Lordaeron stacked with Blessing of Might, maybe I can consider it. But I definitely think there could be something better overall. I'm not saying that this is bad and it's the worst thing in the world, but come on now. We know this is true. Holy Paladins deserve to have something better in the chest slot, because none of this is solid. But this is for the Holy Paladins, pretty much. So what we got here is the Seal of Martyrdom, Seal of Command, and then we have the Deep Prot, we have the Shockadin, which we just went over, and I apologize for messing that up before, and then we have our Holy Paladin build for Holy Paladins in general. So that is basically about it. Before we even end the video, I want to show you a quick little bonus of what we're looking at for Phase 3. So, 60Upgrades, sponsor me. However, lock it in. That's our topic for another day. It's looking like this is what we're heading towards, right? As in terms of where we want, like, the best in slots for our character overall. Now, I do think, you know, there is a chance where maybe not replacing the Epic Helm that we do have right now. There is a world where this Epic Helm is just better to use, especially depending on the build that you're going with. So this is not set in stone, because all this gear can change basing off your playstyle, whether we're going, you know, with more PvP stuff, like, you know, the Knight stuff. And I think someone clarified with me, one of the Horde in the comments, they said the Blood stuff I think is for Horde, Knights is for Alliance. Thank you for that clarification. But overall, and then yes, the Emerald Dream stuff. So I think like there is different ways of flexibility that we can change the build. I think this build right here is like perfect Divine Storm Seal of Command build right here, and I think it is really strong. However, I think for Seal of Martyrdom, it's going to be a mix of using the automatic Crowd Pummeler, and then when you keep using that Crowd Pummeler and using it off its global cooldown, I think the other weapon that possibly might be really good is this thing right here, the Sulthrazi, the Lasher. I believe if I said that correctly. Forgive me if I didn't, but we'll just equip it real quick. And this is the weapon we're going to be rocking, because it has 2.60 swing speed, 52.1 damage per second, and then strikes an enemy with the rage of Solthrazi, lowers the target's strength by 15, and deals 90 to 211 shadow damage with an additional. I think it says, I'm not sure if that's a typo, it says 03 damage, but it's a certain type of damage overall over 15 seconds. So, I think it's Solthraz, not Solthrazi. I don't know. That sounds Italian. Solthrazi, pasta, rigatoni. Settle down, all right? It's the Italian. However, Solthraz. Yes, basically, this is something that I could see Seal of Martyrdom users using after Crowd Pummeler cooldown is done. And then going from there. So it's going to be weird. It's going to be a very, like almost like a warrior thing where you're switching stances, but you're just macroing to switching different, weapons. You know what I mean? I like it. Kind of don't. But at the same time, I'm going to, let it rock out and see where we go from here. Like I said, all this gear here that you're seeing can be changed. It's all depending on what you're doing and what kind of build you are running with. I do think in the PvP video, I'll go a little bit more in depth in terms of 60 upgrades and gear itself to see how we're going to be, decking out our tune come phase 3. There is a lot of potential things that you can be going with here, a lot of good drops overall. And I'm really excited to see what they're going to be doing because there's a lot of potential. Even it doesn't even show the Libram here, but the Libram for, I think it's like 35 or 36 to the Dragonkin, that is pretty fucking nuts. And this is heavy PvE. So I could see the world where this is, really good, but also changes depending on what you're going to do. But listen, that's it. I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much information. I'm over here choking from the backwash of the Dasani street water. Unbelievable. Let's chug it one more time. Get it out of here. However, listen, lock it in, or of course we recycle. We're going to pick it up. Settle down. Much love to you, amigos. I appreciate you always coming to the videos, and I thank you for always, keeping a G, all right? And keeping a PG, too, sometimes. Sometimes y'all a little too rated R, a little too much. We had a great stream last night. I appreciate you guys coming to the Hello J Tello on Twitch TV. And then that's really about it. However, lock it in. A couple more days until Phase 3. And let me know your comments below. What do you guys think about the video, and what are you guys most excited about? And, we'll go from there. I'll see you in another video tomorrow, right? Was that good? Keep on keeping on. Peace. Eder, I want that killed. I want everybody shot right now. Line them up, dice them up, and put them into an anti-pasta ball, and I'm not done. Are you going to end the video, or am I going to end the video? Oh, you want me to end the video? Oh, you want me to end the video? You want me to end the video this time? All right, no big deal. Let me go get the fucking